concept, of course, is we're swapping songs, which was something we stole from ourselves way back when we were 20.
And we invented the idea.
Of swapping songs with each other, yes, we did.
Oh, okay. Should we stop and check and make sure that we're actually picking ourselves up?
No, I can see we are.
Okay. You think the video's good?
I can see it's good enough for what we're doing.
I think that's what we should call the podcast.
Good enough?
Good enough for what we're doing. What's that? Bumper music?
Good enough.
Oh.
We've been trying to stay within the guidelines. I don't know. I can't remember how it goes.
Whose song is it?
That was an old Jason Hell song.
Oh, I know that guy. Or I used to. Do you remember that time he shaved off his beard and he put the hair in a Ziploc bag and it looked like a bag of pubes, and he put it in my mailbox, and I didn't know who. I just pulled this Ziploc bag of what I thought was pubic hair.
When you lived on Ridgewood, he was at one point your neighbor.
He was
right?
my neighbor. Oh, and he was the best neighbor I ever had because, as he said it, let's just maintain this mutual disrespect for one another. I was like, you got it. So I could play music as loud as I wanted anytime. He could do the same. Movies were loud. Video games were loud.
Perfect.
It was great. Because I didn't care, and he didn't care. And once we established that, it was like,
awesome.
You got it, dude. Yeah, I wish you'd lived there longer because it was total freedom.
Nice.
Yeah. Well. Well, that's the end of the series.
Yep.
We're all out.
We've only written 2 songs, one each. So yes, another song that I wrote way back in the day when we were writing songs and you lived on Ridgewood.
That was such a good period, dude. That was a really good period in my life.
That's a good period in anyone's life who's, between 18 and 25. That was awesome.
It was.
How old were you when you got married?
25.
The first time?
25.
Well, like I said, 18 to 25. And then I didn't see you from the time you were 25 until...
That's not true, but I'm sure it's pretty close. Until I married Amanda. Yeah. Dude, I got a lot of songs about that relationship. I'm sure you know. I met my first wife when I was 19. She was 18, and that was in 1998, and we were together until 2019. It's
a long time.
It's a long time. 21 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they were mostly very, very good years.
Yeah,
two beautiful kids. Yeah. Perfect kids. Amazing children.
There you go.
Yeah. No regrets from any of that.
Yeah. That's the way to live, as they say.
Me,
on the other hand, have nothing but regrets.
I think you need a balance. There are things I've done that I regret, for sure, and I think you should.
Oh, everyone. Yeah. Despite what people say, everyone does.
I would hope so. You'd have to be like a sociopath or something.
Or a vegetable stuck in a
blender.
mental ward or blender.
Food processor.
There you go. That we call society. Wait.
I'm out.
And that's what this song is about. The Society of Vegetables. No, seriously, this is a song that... Alright, this song has different aspects of my life as well. That I once went to Nashville and I did the old open mic night at the Bluebird Cafe, which a lot of young songwriters do.
Me too.
And it was easy for us because we're not too terribly far from Nashville, thankfully. And while I was there, this guy got up and he told this story about how he was playing songs in the 60s, and this was the late 90s, or maybe even early 2000. Well, that would be 2000, not 2000s, just the year 2000. So maybe it got into the new year or millennium, new century. But anyhow,
riveting.
Actually, it's all that: new decade, new century, and new millennium.
It is.
So I couldn't go wrong, and yet I went nothing but wrong.
This is our life.
Yes. Anyhow, this guy got up and he was telling the story of how in the 60s he thought he was going to go places. He sounded just like Bob Dylan, and he played this song, and it was a really good song, and I stole his chorus to some degree, but not entirely because I couldn't remember how the song goes, or his song goes. But that chorus was, "What did you come to say?" or something like that. And I was like, all right, well, I have no idea what I came to say, but I'm going to do exactly like you and write a song about what did you come to say.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't come to say anything except to take your lyric and put it in my song.
I think that's enough. That's it's a great question, and I think that was a big thing for songwriters in the '60s and artists in the '60s. They were all about, well, what do they have to say? You know, because nobody had any value unless they had something to say.
Right,
and
that has carried on through music for.
I don't think it's wrong necessarily. If you have to have something to contribute. You have to have something. Yeah, if you're going to be in music or in art, I think you should have something
to say.
Right.
Well, what did you come to say? And that's kind of what this song is about. But also, musically, I was hanging out with a buddy of mine and his, at the time, kind of new girlfriend. He had just met her, and they've now been married for 20 or 400 years, as she would probably say. Anyhow.
That's awesome. Who is it?
It was Matt and Leah. And at the time, Leah was a student at Burnell, and we were visiting her in her dorm. And I don't know if he had a guitar over there or if her roommate had a guitar, but anyway, there was a guitar there. And as I'm likely to do when I see a guitar, I'll pick it up and I'll start playing. And somewhere in the middle of that conversation between me and whatever guitar I had at the time, I found this song.
I love that story.
I know what that guitar came to say, and it came to say this. How's this song go? They run on like the rain, but our stories all get recycled, and I never lost sight of the dream. Holding you would greet my day, and I say, yeah, what did you come to say? I said, hey, yeah. What did you come to say? No, I never once pretend you were my only friend. Just when thinking of the thick and the thin, I knew you would let me in. And I said, hey, yeah, what did you come to say? I said, hey, yeah, what did you come to say? What you might say if you stood by me still today, but the snow on the pavement melts like our lives that fade away. And I say, hey, yeah, what did you come to say? I said, hey, yeah, what did you proclaim today? What did you come to say, my friend? What do you proclaim today?
I love that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, it's a great song. Well, I'm glad you picked up that guitar, and
Thanks.
And I'm glad you went to the Bluebird and heard that dude sing his song. And wouldn't it be funny if you could hear that guy's song again? It is that.
Yeah.
My dad, who's passed away, was from the silent generation. He was born in 41. My mom's a boomer.
Is that why I could never hear him when he talked?
Oh my gosh, going through drive-thrus. My father had a really deep voice.
He did.
And my father's family just refuses to speak at an audible volume. I don't know why.
I don't know. My mom sure does.
Yeah. And good for her. But there's a lot of that, like, real quiet spoken. Listen to family. I'd go over to my grandmother's house and she would talk, and if Carol was there too, and the two of them were talking, I would be like, okay. What? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's cute. It's an endearing quality, but it is true. So my father, who was louder than that, but still had a bit of that, going through the drive-thru with him was impossible. I always felt so bad for whoever was trying to get Aubrey C. Smith's drive-thru order. And all he ever wanted was a cup of coffee. That was always it. Just a cup of coffee black. I'm sorry, what do you need? Yeah. Anyways, when I was growing up, because of them and because of their age, I watched a ton of movies and listened to a ton of music, and I don't even think really realized that none of it was current. You know? But my mother in particular loves westerns, and Randolph Scott was an actor way back, and he was like a B tier.
Randolph Scott.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the song, right? Whatever Happened to Randolph Scott?
That could be. I was mimicking the part in Blazing Saddles when they're talking about it.
Oh, I forgot that they do.
Yeah.
I saw all those movies so many times that I really have a soft spot for him. I like a lot of his films. He was a B tier actor. There were B films. For the most part, he did a movie with Cary Grant that was
mostly westerns or war movies.
Mostly westerns.
Yeah.
Few war movies. But the westerns were where it was at. And he worked with some pretty good directors. They worked with some really good directors. His last film was a Sam Peckinpah film.
He seems kind of like the B-movie version of John Wayne, maybe. No,
I don't want to offend anybody, but he had more range and he was more handsome. Anyways, he made this film.
We'll cut all that shit out.
I don't know. Randall Scott was, I don't know. I grew up being inundated with these films. And sometimes I would want to watch something else. But if my mom had the TV, we were watching the Doolins of Oklahoma or something, you know. But he made this film called Ride Lonesome that I saw when I was a kid. And I think I was in my early 30s. Before kids. I didn't have kids yet. So I had Harper at 30. I had my first child at 33. So before that. I got one more and I put Ride Lonesome on, right? And I watched it, and I think it's a brilliant movie. And it's like one of those stories where his wife's been raped and murdered or whatever, and he's going out to get the guy who did it. And that's the movie. It's a vengeance story, and of course he finds out that wasn't the case, and she wasn't raped, and I don't know. I can't remember if she was murdered or not, but I would assume so. But anyways, whatever happened, he found out that he had been hunting this person down, trying to kill him, and it was all a lie. And he was going to hang him, and he had the tree picked out, and he catches the guy, and he gets him to the tree, and he's got the noose in it, and he discovers the truth, lets the guy go, and the last scene of the film is this beautiful shot of that tree. He burns the tree down, and so he's just standing like a shadow figure out from the tree. The tree's kind of in the foreground, if I remember right, and it's on fire, and the noose is burning, and there's ashes blowing on Randolph Scott, and it's just this really cool image. And I was like, man, I want to do something with that. So I started writing this, and I usually write songs. I either write them and I get them, or I don't, you know. And this was one that I actually took time with and went back and worked on the lyrics. And this is called Cold Hallelujah. And It's not about that movie. It's not the plot of the film or anything, but that is the imagery that kind of got this going. When I first wrote it, I mean, it's somewhat about one of my brothers and kind of my thinking along his life, and honestly, the older I get, the more I can see myself in it too. So yeah, this is called Cold Hallelujah.
Not hot hallelujah.
Not hot.
Okay.
Cold Hallelujah. You cast the stone. You drew the lines. These regrets are yours, but the vengeance is mine. And I stand alone here beneath that hanging tree. But as I watch it burn, the wind blows the ashes over me. It's a long, cold hallelujah. It's gonna find us gathered by that stone. It's a long, cold ride, gonna leave you broken when you find that you're riding alone. Some men kill for money, and some for self-respect. Well, I loved you, my brother, better than I love myself. You killed to keep from knowing what's so clear to me tonight. If you can draw such vicious lines, and pride don't know wrong from right. It's a long, cold hallelujah. It's gonna find us gathered by that stone. It's a long, cold ride. It's gonna leave you broken when you find that you're riding alone. In the heartbeat of this canyon, where men walk neither seen nor unseen, these decisions I've made are hard to forgive, hardest of all to me. Tonight I'll drag my fingers through this earth till it surrenders to me. I will bury your bones in this dirt. I will ride away clean.
gonna